Hi there, today I'm going to teach you how to play the song But Honestly by Foo Fighters, which is on their 2007 album Echoes, Silence, Patience and Grace, which is a really cool album because it kind of has both the electric side and the acoustic side of the band, and this song actually captures both of those sounds in one, so it's a really great song. And so we'll get on and start learning it then. Okay, so the intro as well as the kind of the first half of the song is played on an acoustic guitar like I mentioned. And so if you've got an acoustic guitar, grab that, but for the benefit of those who don't, I am going to teach you this on electric, so if you're one of those people, you need to set your electric to an acoustic setting like I have. Okay, so the acoustic guitar is the first thing you hear in the song, so there's no build up, it's just straight in there with the chords. So there's going to be 4 chords in this intro, which I think the thing I'll take the most time over is to explain the strumming pattern to you. But anyway, the first chord, it's going to be like a power chord shape, which it's going to be your index finger on the 7th on the A, your ring finger on the 9th on the D, and your little finger on the 9th on the G, and you're going to play those 3 strings as well as an open B and high E, so it's going to be, and you're going to strum this 5 times, and the strumming pattern is going to be like down, 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 up, down. Well, that's what I use anyway. After I've taught you the 4 chords, and if you find an easier or way that you prefer in terms of the strumming pattern, then obviously you do that, but I'll teach you the way I play, which like I said is down, 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 down. Okay, so going to the second chord then, you're keeping your ring finger where it is on the 9th on the D. You're going to swap your index from the 7th on the A to the 7th on the low E, and you're going to take your little finger off of the 9th on the G and replace it with your middle finger on the 8th of the G. So now I've got. Okay, so if we go from the first chord, the strumming pattern's going to be like up, down, up, down, up. Well, like I said, that's how I choose to play it anyway. So those 2 chords together is going to go. So then it's going to change a bit again. We're taking our index off from the 7th on the low E, and the open A becomes our root note, and then we're going to play, it's going to be, that's the same string pattern as the, but it's going to be just the first time around it's going to be open A, B and high E, and then you're going to, it's still 8th on the G and 9th on the D, so, but that's, you only play that once, so just, and then you put your little finger down on the 9th of the G, so, and then the rest of that chord is played like that, so it's the rest of the strumming pattern, which like I said was the same as the, so the 3 together, so far it's going to go. Okay, so going to the 4th and final chord, you're going to slide up from the 3rd, keeping the open A as the root note, and you're going to go with your ring finger 14th on the D, and with your middle finger 13th on the G, plus those other 2 open chords that have been there throughout. And that's going to be the same strumming pattern as the second one. Okay, so the whole thing then, really slowly, the whole 4 chords, it's going to go. So yeah, and that plays through twice. And that's it. And then the verse is just exactly the same. I don't need to teach anything for the verse because it's just that, just as he's singing, and it just goes on and on until the chorus really. So yeah, it's just once more. It's just going to go. and that's the intro and the verses. Oh, and sorry, one more thing actually. The second time that the verse happens, it's slightly longer than the first. Just thought I'd say that just so you. I mean, you can just listen to the song and play along with it. But yeah, so the second is like a few extra times that it goes around those 4 chords. So yes, that's the intro and the verses. Okay, so the fill, the kind of pre-chorus fill, it's going to be, your index is going to be on the 13th on the A, your ring is going to be on the 14th on the D, and your middle's on the 13th on the G. But instead of just strumming it like we were on the verse, it's going to be A, D, strum the other G, B and E. So I'm going to go D, A, strum, so do that again. Okay, so it's, and I'm just going to strum that again 3 times, the whole thing. And that's like going into the chorus, so it's, and then that's just before the chorus starts. So this is just, yeah, literally just after the finishes, which is, I think he sings maybe in the first verse, and then it's when he's after he's sung But Honestly in the second that happens, in case you're wondering when this happens, because it is quite quiet. But yeah, so that's just separating the verse and the chorus, and that's the pre-chorus fill. So again, this is straight on from that fill I just taught you, and it's going to be index on the 12th on the A, ring on the 14th on the D, and middle on the 13th on the G, plus those open to B and E again. And this goes back to that strumming pattern of the verse. So the strumming pattern is exactly the same, but it's different chords. So this is the first one, which is exactly the same as the first chord from the verse. So you can just look back first for that strumming pattern, but I won't teach it again. I'll just teach the new chord. So yes, that's the first. Just, and then keeping your ring and your middle where they are, you're just going to move over to the 12th on the low E for the second chord. So those 2 together then. And then it's going to be 13th on, it's going to be the same as the pre-chorus shape actually. So 13th on the A, 14th on the D, 13th on the G, and then that's so it's, yeah, and then so that's the first thing, and the last one it's going to be it's going to move down. So now your index is on the 9th on the A, your ring's on the 11th on the D, and your little finger's on the 11th on the G. So that's okay. So so yeah, actually similar to the verse, the second chorus goes on for a bit longer than the first, but it's just strumming those shapes again. So just listen to the song to get the timings, and then after both choruses, you're just going to go to an E major chord, just to kind of finish it off, which is just, if you should know your E major chord, but it's second on the A, second on the D, and first on the G, and then it's just going to go. So yeah, so just going from the end of the chorus, or the end of the 4 chords of the chorus that I taught you, it's going to go. Okay, so then after the first chorus, that's when it goes back into the second verse. After the second chorus, after it does the, the second chorus, then it goes into the bridge, which is different, which I'll teach you now. Okay, so the bridge after the second chorus, when he sings "And tonight I thank the stars," it's going to be different chords. It's going to be first chord, middle finger is 8th on the G, little finger 9th on the D, and ring finger 9th on the A. And so yeah, so it's going to go. So instead of just going and then changing to a different chord like we were in the verse and the chorus, it's going to be the full 12 hits. So yeah, so it's the same strumming pattern, just all on the one chord. So it's like, and then we're going to change. So now our index is on the 4th on the A, our ring's on the 6th on the D, and our little's on the 6th on the G. And then again, that's for those full 12 strums. So it's, so together we've got. And then we're going to move down a fret. So now our oh, and I should say that you've probably guessed from me playing it, but through all these chords we're still playing open B and open E as well. But yeah, that's probably been obvious to you. But then we're going to go the third chord, index on the 3rd, ring on the A, ring finger on the 5th on the D, and middle finger on the 5th on the G. And then again, like I said, with those 2 open strings. So, and then again, that's for the full 12 strums. So far we've got. And then to an E major chord, which I already taught you the shape, and it's just okay, so that's the first time round in the bridge, so it's going to go. Second time singing, and all the ones I gave to you, something borrowed, something blue. It's the same. It's the. But then it changes. So instead of going back to that E major chord, we're just staying on that 3rd chord, which is the 3rd on the A, and then 5th on the D and G, and we're just going to keep strumming that chord until the breakdown starts. And it's just, yeah, so it's just. So yeah, so the full bridge then is going to sound like this. Breakdown starts. Okay, so the breakdown is when you keep singing "I'll Give It To You." There's going to be 2 guitar parts here. So firstly I'll show you the first guitar part, Dave's part, which is still on this acoustic setting, and it's just going to be some more chords. So stand on that E major again for the full 12 strums. So it's then going to 5th on the A with the index, 7th on the D with your middle, and 7th on the G with your, 7th on the D with the ring finger, 7th on the G with your little, and then plus the 2 open strings again, so it's that in total. Then moving down with that shape 2 frets, so now it's 3rd on the A, 5th on the D, 5th on the G, and then it's again that same pattern. And then finally an A major chord, but we're going to need to hear the open E actually, so we can't bar it. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to squeeze. You're going to have to squeeze your index, middle, and 3rd all onto the second on the, so it will be index on the D, middle on the G, and ring finger on the B, plus an open A and high E's. Okay, so in total. And then he just keeps playing that in the acoustic part. You just keep that going round and round. And I should also say now that the solo, which I'll teach you, Chris's part, which is the solo that's played, this is the same. It's just these chords being played through. If you're wondering if for that part you wanted to play the acoustic and it was something else, that is just the same. Basically from here to the end of the song, it's just those chords being played over and over again. So yes, that's the breakdown. Okay, so still the breakdown, but the part that the second guitar plays, which I'm guessing is Chris's, which is what Chris plays. It's going to be exactly those chords that I've just told you for the first 2 times round, just strummed like. Just strummed open, just, oh yeah, and it should be a clean tone, I should have said. So yeah, you just strum in the and you strum them all twice with a clean sounding tone. Okay, so the second half of the guitar 2's part in the breakdown, you're going to need a distorted tone, and we're going to be playing some octave chords. So the first chord then is going to be, your index is going to be on the second on the D, and your little finger is going to be on the 5th on the B, and this is going to be kind of palm muted, but at the end of every kind of section of the palm mute in the octave chord, we're going to kind of open out and stop palm muting it. So for the first one it's going to, and then go into the second one, we're going to go up 2 frets. So now your index is on the 4th on the A, on the D, sorry, and your little finger's on the 7th on the B, and that's going to be exactly the same, like kind of palm mute and then open into like. Okay, so the 2 together. Going up 1 fret, so your index is on the 5th on the D, your little fingers on the 8th on the B. Exactly the same, so all together. And finally, going up 2 again, so your index is on the 7th on the D, and your little fingers on the 10th on the B. Okay, so then that's the first time. So and the second time it's exactly the same. It's just on that last octave chord. Instead of you're not even going to palm mute it at all. It's going to be completely just strumming it, which is like the complete build up to when the solo comes in, and kind of the whole song explodes at that point. So the whole thing then is going to sound like this. Okay, and that's guitar 2's part of the breakdown. Okay, so we'll call this the solo. It's basically just the thing that takes the song and carries it all the way to the end. It's quite tricky, especially getting up to speed with the speed it's played on the song, but I'll talk you through it really slowly. You're going to start on the 12th on the B with your ring finger, and then you're going to go from there to the 10th with your middle finger. So. And then taking that off as well, it's going to be 9th on the B, then back to the 10th with your middle. Okay. I'm gonna play like 4 times, just doing that, and I actually keep. So like when I'm playing the 12th, I'm holding down my middle and my index just to, because you'll still hear the 12th, just to kind of be prepared instead of having to go. Okay, so that's just like a little tip. So that's the first part then, and then we're gonna go. It's gonna change, and we're gonna go 10 on the B with our middle to 9th on the B with our index, and then our ring finger is going to 11th on the G, and then 9th on the G with our index again. So, and then again, you're playing that 4 times. So together. And then it's going to be the third part is going to be similar. It's 8th on the B, and then 7th on the B, 9th on the G, 7th on the G, and then 4 times again, all together. And then the ending is going to be a bit different again. It's going to be 11, 12, 14 on the D, and I'm playing that with index, middle and ring, and then it's going to be exactly the same on the G, so it's still 11, 12, 14 on, just on the G, so I'm going to play that twice, and then it's going to be 11, 12 on the D, and then 12 on the A. Okay, so really slowly it's so yeah, so that is it's fast on the actual song. I think it's around the speed of so just keep practicing that and build it up to the proper speed if you find it hard at first. And yeah, there's not much more to say really. It's just it does that for a while, and then he starts singing I don't want one thing that I gave to you, and he sings that for a bit, and then he stops, and then it's just the same. It's just that riff over and over. Just keep playing it. I'll play it once more time for you, really slowly, in case you're not quite got it. And yeah, it's just over and over again. And then I already told you about the acoustic chords that are played during that solo, and they're just played to the end of the song, and it literally just carries it all the way to the end. There is no proper outro; it just fades out. You could probably just finish on like E minor or something if you really, E major if you really wanted like a proper ending, but on the actual record it just fades out. Okay, so yeah, that's everything like I've already said. Hope you've got all of that, hopefully not finding it too hard. And that's the full song, so thanks for watching, take care, I'll see you next time, cheers.